Okay, the land acknowledgement. It's an unbelievable thing when you actually sit there for it. I think I told the audience this, but a couple years ago, I went to this muckety muck like conference where they want you to go and speak to the luminaries of today and tomorrow. And first they paraded out General Michael Hayden as some sort of an expert on Trump. Meanwhile, he's like one of his chief antagonists. Okay, this is not objective analysis. And then they had Ashley Judd get up there. And God, she was a hot mess. I mean, a hot mess. But she began for like the first 5 minutes with a land acknowledgement. This is like the left, they love these things, but then they don't do anything.
Yes, I thought by now Democrat will learn that going after Trump every single day is not helping them. Yes, they did that in 2024 during the election period throughout attacks here, attacks there.
Why are you bringing this up in an election? Okay? What we did, what all kinds of things, with slavery, with experiment with drugs, what we did during what happened in the Confederacy during the Civil War, and Andersonville, and it's okay. This is an election, and the DNC is not the place to discuss this. Understand this. The DNC does not exist to right wrongs. It doesn't exist to acknowledge the more unpleasant parts of history. It doesn't exist to make people feel good. It exists, get this through your head, to win elections. Now, do you think that is going to help us win elections, say, like we did in Iowa, which is, I think, close to Minnesota? My geography is there.
You're good on that.
By talking about land theft from the Dakotas. We're not. Please stop this in the name of a just, merciful God. Don't you see what's happening? Don't you see where this has brought us to? For God's sakes, lady, what is Ken Martin doing that? You don't have but one job, Ken. It's to win. No, honestly, I mean, she's probably a friend of yours from Minnesota. I'm sure she's a perfectly elegant, nice person. That has nothing to do with this. You're supposed to try to win elections.
River for thousands of years before colonization. This land was not claimed or traded. It's a part of a history of broken treaties and promises. And in many ways, we still live in a system built to suppress Indigenous peoples' cultural and spiritual history.
Oh my
God. I've watched a couple of videos at this DNC. I don't know if it was a conference or what exactly. Everybody in this location blew off on Trump. And people are not seeing it that way.
Issues voters care about. Where does Trump go? Migrant crime, carjackings, the really lurid, awful stuff that is a crazy, crazy visual. Don't take the bait, because most Americans are more worried about how are we going to address mental health issues, the visible homelessness that we see on streets, and how do we deal with mental health and other issues that drive the sort of random incidents that scare all of us. That's what you should be talking about. That's where you should be focused. Don't take the bait in talking about migrant crime or carjackings or the things that actually don't matter to that many Americans.
Yes, to be truthful, the Democrat Party should be studying with a textbook right now. When you look at the approval ratings, fundraisings, voter registration, all down. Really look at what this lady is saying here. What people actually cares about, they want to ignore that. Trump is struggling to solve problems. That is exactly what Trump is doing. What he identified, even when he was running, struggling to solve some of those issues. Now, when you take a look at the Democrat Party struggling to counteract that, they can't still even get it. They still don't understand how to tackle or how to, go against Trump.
Guys, Camille, you look moved. I feel like it touched you a little.
I mean, there's always something about those land acknowledgments that reminds me of just how out of touch Democrats have the capacity to be. I mean, it's not just that this is kind of pretentious and frequently ahistorical. It just really does expose the vanity of their political project to the extent they're talking about this stuff and not willing to abandon the land completely. Just give it back. There's a history of bloodshed and slavery and oppression. Well, that's how you came to own this land. What? You should do something about it desperately. Like yesterday, 12 years ago.
It's like Bernie Madoff beginning a speech with like, I just want to acknowledge all the people who I hurt and whose money built this mansion from which I'm speaking to you.
While bathing in
so
money.
I'm super sorry. And anyway, could you pass me that margarita? Thank you. Jeeves, over there, bring it. Stat. Anyway, super sorry. As I was saying, what's the point?
I think the sad part is that as someone who really appreciates both history and property rights, this could be a teaching moment. It's always unidirectional. It's always you find some elder from a local tribe who talks at the top. And I like to hear from the elder from a local tribe. I think that's cool. Doesn't necessarily have to be the beginning of every political gathering. But if you take any patch of land, including the patches that we're all in our various places right now, there's a lot of weird ownership disputes. So this patch of land, French owned it for a while, and then there was like they went across the border and slit some throats, Champlain or whatever. Let's go for it. You know, this land was seized by eminent domain as part of the urban renewal phrase of the 1960s and dispossessed a lot of people without a vote. Let's do all of it, but they only do it in one way, and it's right. It is in a way to show maximum penance and minimum action. Well, you could be concerned with Native American lot in modern day America.
This is what the Democrat Party should focus on. But they will not look at this. They will focus on things that don't even matter. When I look at their reactions on social media and on the mainstream media, Trump going to DC, struggling to make everyone peaceful, stop crime. It was a problem to Democrats. Days ago, he announced soon we are going to Chicago, Illinois, places like this. I just get up. I saw a lot of these governors coming out. Oh, if Trump dares to do this, we would go after him. They are always taking the bait. Trump will just say some kind of thing, the way they will carry it, they will forget important things. Democrats keep falling for this every single time. This is what they should sit now and realize their problem like this and figure out what to do, but they will not do that.
Whereas in a lot of red states, you can't. So that's even questionable. They say, nonetheless, for the first time since 2018, more new voters nationwide chose to be Republicans than Democrats last year. Of the 30 states that track voter registration by political party, Democrats lost ground to Republicans in every single one.
The DNC acknowledges and honors the Dakota Oyate, the Dakota people, who are the original stewards of the lands and waters of Minneapolis.
They said the land is stolen, but aren't giving it back. After the land apology, it was a lecture on love.
Love is often seen as a feeling or an idea, but love is action. When neighbors are oppressed, silenced, or hurt, we must act in love. Being a neighbor both breaks my heart and keeps it beating.
Democrats love everybody except Republicans, Christians, and cops. Other than that, though, it is Love Island. But the love didn't last long. DNC Chair Ken Martin ditched the hugs and reached for the knife.
I'm sick and tired of this Democratic Party bringing a pencil to a knife fight. We cannot be the only party that plays by the rules anymore. We've got to stand up and fight. We're not going to have a hand tied behind our back anymore. Let's grow a damn spine and get in this fight, Democrats.
The message is spreading. Listen to this guy running for Senate at the Bernie rally.
We don't back down. We don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and
full choke. Back at the convention.
Yes, I believe you have seen what is going on with the Democrat Party. They are confused. They don't even know what to do at this point. It is laughable to see what is going on at the DNC. I want to appreciate people supporting me, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. Please, if you see short clips at the end, that is for the YT algorithm.
Texas is probably the hardest place to vote in the country, just in terms of the paperwork, the requirements, the hoops you got to jump through.
How so, though?
There's a whole host of things. The fact that we don't have online voter registration in this state, when a lot of other states do. I mean, think of all the things you do online. Voter registration is not one of them. The IDs that now count for registering to vote or voting are very selective. So, for instance, you've got a concealed carry license. That license counts as ID, which I agree that it should. But a student ID from a college or university doesn't count as an ID.
You have to get a driver's license.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to go get a driver's license. And again,
what
for
about
someone
passport
like
work,
passport. Right? But again, I didn't have a passport for most of my life. Right? I didn't travel outside the country till I was I was in my 30s, and so I didn't have a passport. A lot of people don't have a driver's license, especially older folks. So the point is that these rules get added on top of each other and make it even more difficult. One of the main...
Seven Bridges Road. What a voice. I cried.
Landmines, limitations.
So many rules.
My choices are mine. Making this easy. People line up for my advice. Mm-hmm. And you're walking away like I'm stupid. Line up for my advice.
Mm-hmm. Going to lionize.
Why? Marriage, infertility.
How hard it is to live in the White House.
Post this morning alleging that since I said I will prevail.
It also shouldn't be racial. 100
has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not going to end.
He says, but what if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense. The kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you...
Because she's fearful.
Registration Act is
talking about
term, and you will be very...
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does.
And black people don't want to live around ratchet black.
How bad is his reputation going to be?
It's bad.
I need to connect the dots.
Going to carry a level of weight.
Position.
Or a rant.
And